Okay, we're still on the properties panel of the home ribbon. We've discussed colors. Let me go ahead and change this one back to by layer for creating new. We've discussed line weights, the relative thickness or width of the lines. Again, polylines have a width characteristic or setting. I recommend talking about relative thickness for your lines or for line weights. And then this bottom one here is the line type. Now, line type, which command, all one word, line type, we're talking about a pattern, a style, the way the line looks. Well, line weight is how it looks also, that's relative thickness, but line type is more of a pattern per se, such as a dashed line. If you may have seen in the past, or at least on some of those problems that you were drawing, there were lines that you may already be aware are referred to as center lines. That is a long line and then a small dash, a long line, a small dash, and so on. Nonetheless, right here, drop down line weights, and I see I have by layer, by block, and continuous, and that is all. I also have other. Other is what you'd want to click, and I'll get this line type manager, this window. So whether I drop it down and select other here, or in this case I will type in line type, I get the same window. Now here the filters, show them all, show all those are used, show just your X reference or external reference, invert your filters, select everything other than what you've selected. We're not going to get into all this here. Leave this alone. And I see I have line type, appearance, and description, by layer, by block, continuous, exactly what was shown up here originally. And appearance, well, I don't see any difference whatsoever. That's because there is no difference. The only line currently loaded by default is a continuous line type. Continuous. A lot of people refer to that as solid. I'd like you to try not to use that term. Continuous meaning it doesn't break, it doesn't alter, it doesn't have any gaps in it. So continuous line. Where you need to go next, and the reason why they don't have all these loaded is if you want a simple drawing, the more line types they have loaded, the larger that basic drawing file is going to be. Again, conserve resources, conserve size, speed of your computer and how it operates. So up here, load, delete, current, show details, load, ... and you'll get this window. Now this window you can scroll. Here are your scroll bars, or you can just change its size. It's pretty lengthy. We got quite a few to choose from, and there are several of them. AutoCAD ISO being one of the standards. This is really your international ISO. They definitely impact many industries in the US as far as being ISO, I think is at 900 or 9000 compliant. We're not going to get into that. We're going to skip all of these. You can use them if you want. I can just simply select, click, click, click. This is more of a Microsoft or a Windows type standard. If I hold the Shift key, let's say I want all of these. I select this one, I hold the Shift key down, and I select this. No, actually I want to go down to here, or all the way down to there. That way I've selected all of them. Also, if I hold the Control key down, then I can select multiple individual ones, or individual. Even in your email, this is possible as you're selecting multiple emails. Enough of that. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to select center. I want you to select your choice, either dashed or hidden. That's kind of a misnomer, or if I even use that word properly, but I'm going to select hidden. I also want you to select phantom and zigzag. Now, each of these, at least some of these, have center, center 2, center times 2, hidden, hidden 2, hidden times 2, phantom, phantom 2, phantom times 2. What that is, and if you look over here, center, you'll also see a graphic of it, a long line, a small dash, a long line, a small dash. Some of these ISOs, they're not actually dashes, they're dots. Not my preference. I prefer a small line of a little bit of a length there for center marks, things like that. But then also you see center in parentheses, 0.5x center. Get off there. center 2x. This is dealing with the line type scale. Now, you don't need to get out of this. I'm going to get out of it, cancel, and I'm going to open up. I'll select an object and open up my properties window. And again, up here in general, there's color, layer, line type scale. This is the relative scale or a scale factor, scale multiplier for the size and or frequency of the pattern of the line, the line type. So that's what the scale is referring to. I'll get back into that here in a second, show you kind of what that, how that is affected. But in this case, and this is where you should be, if you did get out of it, that's fine. Go back to the line type down at the bottom, other, and then load. And so again, I said center, hidden or dashed, your choice, and phantom and zigzag. Okay, and you see there are several of them, just letting you know. Let's see, this one here, gas line, fence line. These are pretty common for utilities drawings, infrastructure site plans that show some of the infrastructure, hot water, cold water, gas, electric, whatever it may be, actually putting text, or in this case posts, or intermediate supports, different little symbols to signify something else, and or the label itself in the line. So very nice. You can go ahead and pull in these 0.5, 2x. It's just, again, they've already taken into account this is half the scale of what this one is. This is double the scale of the original. I just normally, I don't want more line types than necessary as I'm scrolling through. I'll change the line type scale myself if I want. So again, center, hidden, phantom, zigzag, hit OK. And now I have them here in this window that I can then select from. And at this time, I've not changed it. If I want, I can go ahead and say hidden, and I will hit OK. Now, notice it didn't do anything. It still says by layer. Okay, so that it didn't do it. All I need to do now is go here and select what it is I want, and there it will show. It'll also show I'm currently line type hidden and a line type scale of 1. Now let me go ahead and draw a line. And there are a few different settings. I'm not necessarily going to get into all of them at this time. Can't really tell. Sure doesn't look hidden to me, or at least I'm not sure if that's the display. If I zoom in, you will see that there are your dashes and spaces, and dashes and spaces. Very important feature is they are all uniform. They are exactly the same distance apart. Let me go ahead. I'm going to copy here and here. And the length of this will actually change where the where the line starts, whether it is a full dash at the end or a partial, and then where the spaces are. Sometimes if you're drawing so small, now again here if I'm drawing, I can see those dash lines. But if I draw so small, I don't see that that's hidden until I get to a certain size. Not until it's big enough to give me at least 2 partials with that same space. That space is not going to change. Will it even display? So understand, sometimes you'll draw a line and it's not showing up. It might be too small, might be too large, and you just need to zoom in. That looks continuous there. So as I am here, this being, I'll leave this one as the full size. I'll select this top one, go here, and I'll say 0.5. And you see the sequence or the pattern starts taking off a lot quicker. Maybe the frequency of it could be a good term used. I have basically the lines and the dashes are now half the size of what they were, what this one was. Let me get to where grip is. And I'll do the same thing here, but I will do a scale factor of 2. And again, likewise, there you see. There are times that you will want to change this just because it didn't show up because it's so small, or 2, you do want it to be a certain size just because it's going to appear better, or it's going to look better. So again, there are line types. Notice I'm hovering, even though they are different scales, it's still, or sorry, I said hovering. Selected. they are still showing hidden. The line type itself is still here, even though the scale now varies. Okay, so select, I've got a continuous now and with the hiddens, and now it shows up as blank. So now I can say, no, I want center, a long line, a single dash, a long line, a single dash, or a small dash. And I say single. The reason for that is, I'll just select those two, say those are one scale. The reason for that is a phantom, as I started to tell you. A phantom line is a long line and then two dashes. Long line, two smaller dashes, as opposed to a center line, a single dash. Okay? Phantom line's a common one used for section or cutting plane lines to get section views. In surveying, it's a very common one used for properties or boundaries. A few other options, manufacturing, technical drawings, or mechanical drawings. It's common to use to show a second position of an object, such as, I believe that was problem number 13, showing that rotating or adjustable link. You could draw using a phantom line where that link would be, such as at the far end of part of its rotations. Again, those there, I will talk more about line types, such as another assignment you're going to do, whether it be this one or this one. Again, line types being used to draw different items. I'll talk more about that. I think this video is already long enough. So I'll end this and we'll worry about the additional in the assignment video itself.